Hello, we're here with Tom Selleck from Blue Blood this morning. Tom, the show is not a typical procedural and formulaic. Can you tell us about how you became involved?
Well, I had a nice problem with Blue Bloods. I got offered it. It doesn't always happen that way, but I was sent a script. I didn't know, other than it being about a family of New York City police officers. That's all I knew. What I liked and what attracted me to the script was the fact that it was character-driven, I would say, as opposed to procedural. There's a procedural element of the show, but I find the show, to me, but I'm an actor, dominated by the characters, and the procedural element is a very good backup to let the audience know what they're going through in their everyday life. So it just seemed like a very good idea. The script also moved me, which usually means I must get it emotionally, even if I don't know why. So I just took a risk, and you always take a risk with the show. But it was a very, very good script and a good pilot, and having completed our first year, we're all very happy and hopefully looking forward to next year. We haven't been given any official word, but I guess we're the #1 new show on American television. So you guys will have to draw your own conclusions. I don't want to think anything.
Well, I would think it's a safe bet at this point. As you've worked with CBS on so many projects over the years, I guess starting with Magnum and on now to Blue Bloods and several in between, and we wanted to talk about Jesse Stone in a little while as well.
Yeah, the series, the Jesse Stone series of movies I'm currently doing with CBS.
Yeah.
Because CBS does so many procedurals where it is a case of the week and it doesn't get deeply involved in people's emotional lives or family lives, were there any problems along the way where CBS wanted you to do more of a procedural and less of a family show?
Not really. I mean, I judge from the pilot, and the pilot pretty well stayed intact. I don't think the procedural changed much. Over the course of a season, a show sorts itself out, and I think our show was doing part of that. I'm sure CBS had a say in that, but CBS had terrific success with The Good Wife the year before. I don't think they're afraid of a show that is about the people. So, and I haven't found them to be at odds with anything. That being said, it's a bit above my pay grade because my dealings as an actor in an ensemble are really with the executive producers after the network has given their notes. And I'm proud of all the shows we've done, and really look forward to the second season now that the characters are established. I think you're going to find that our show is more character-driven than ever.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Tom. The show is almost like a family drama more than even a police drama. And so tell us about the importance of the family dinner scenes at the end of each episode and how that ties it all together.
Well, I think what happens, usually the family comes together for usually Sunday dinner, which was common in my family, and a lot of people have a certain nostalgic spot inside of them for that. I think what really, if you're going to do character-driven drama, the audience has to want to walk in the people's shoes. We happen to have very, very strong actors, very, very good cast. That's kind of a dream cast. That when I met them all and we started working together, I wanted the show to work even more because they're all good people and all really fine actors. What happens typically, and every show isn't the same, but hopefully, what happens typically is the audience starts to understand the individual pressures that the characters, hopefully that they like and enjoy, are going through. Family dinner. It may be a family drama, but it isn't the Waltons. It is And I like the Waltons, but that's not us. And family dinner usually involves a lot of the pressures and tension that everybody's been sitting on, which the audience has been made aware of. But they can almost anticipate family dinner and anticipate what often can turn into a discussion or an argument or a little of both. And I think that sense of anticipation on the part of an audience is one of the keys to the success of it, because they've seen, they've walked in these characters' shoes. They know what they're going through. They know what emotions they're sitting on. I think family dinner usually pays off in that respect.
Well, it is a police show as well, and all across this country there are a lot of families that have several police officers within their midst. What do you hear from police officers about the show, about the credibility of the show, and also especially ones that maybe have multiple family members like your show does?
Well, I've hardly done any kind of scientific survey. I mean, we get, I was going down the street the other day in New York when we were filming our last episode, and in New York, people tend to leave you alone. They usually just want to say hi or I love your show or whatever they want to say. And I heard from behind me hey, Tommy. Somebody shouted out, and I didn't know what I was in store for. I turned around, there's two New York City cops in a police car, or an RMP as they call it, and they went, "Hey, Blue Bloods, good show." That's what you hope to get. I've been working a pretty intense schedule in terms of commuting back and forth and doing Blue Bloods, and now preparing for the 8th Jesse Stone movie, which I'm also writing. So I haven't gotten out much, but I certainly haven't got any negative feedback from police officers. I do know it's a family business in many areas, and I think that resonates with people. Look, when we get word of mouth from the show, it isn't usually, oh my God, when in the third act when they caught the bad guy and it wasn't who I expected. What a great moment! And it may very well have been a nice moment, but what they talk about is the relationships and how they were moved by one or another element in the family, and I think that's clearly what they get, and what they get if they have a police background is it is not a job that you can simply leave at the office. Most cops, there's a toxic element that they have to deal with, that they live with, and I think we get into that. I think that's hopefully refreshing to those who are in law enforcement.
Yeah, absolutely. And now looking forward, Tom, you've finished season 1, and hopefully season 2 will start up soon. Given that we're an Emmy looking website, have you given any thought to perhaps you maybe being nominated later this year, and whether you have any season highlights that you would like to submit to judges? You always kind of that's in the air. That's not why you do the work, but that being said, they've approached me and said we want to submit you for an Emmy. Whatever. When in an hour television show, you submit an episode you think is a good example of your work that year. And I had a couple in mind. One may very well be the season finale, which in the States is May 13th, because it deals with something that was introduced in the pilot that is totally about the family, which is the death a year before of my character's son Joe. And the episode's called The Blue Templar, and it's something that has woven itself in and out over the course of the year, but it's really been kind of on hold, and I know people are waiting for that. It turned out to be a very good show, very emotional show. So that would be something I'd submit. Whether anybody chooses to nominate me or anybody else, I think every actor in our ensemble is capable of winning an Emmy. So,
they'll either take us seriously or they won't. I can't figure that out. I've been lucky enough to win one, and I've been nominated quite a few times, both in comedy and drama. So, we'll see what happens. It's I do, because I'm proud of the show, think it's Emmy worthy.
Well, speaking of that, I did want to bring that up. You've been nominated 7 times already, and
am I really?
Yeah, 7 times. 1984.
Many times I was the guy in the chair with this close-up camera in my face, applauding, saying, "Oh, I'm so glad somebody else won."
Well, as Meryl Streep, Meryl Streep's been nominated for the most Oscars, and she says she's the biggest loser ever, even though she's won twice.
Yeah.
But you've been nominated 7 times.
It's an interesting feeling, indescribable, and impossible to communicate to somebody sitting in that hot seat as this little roving guy with a camera comes up, and he's kind of literally got the camera in your face, and you're trying to pretend he's not there, which is impossible.
Well, in 1984, you're not sitting in that seat. You're actually backstage because you're hosting the show. What was it like hosting a show, an Emmy show, where you actually win the Emmy Award?
Well, it's a little weird. I thought back, and something. Both times that year, I won an Emmy and a Golden Globe. When I was hosting the show, we were going through rehearsal, and they said, "Oh, this is the award you're up for, Tom. Now, if you win," I said, "Oh, please, I've been nominated, I think 3 times, and I'm not going to win." But and I said something. I tried to be gracious and say how nice it was to be nominated. But I've never made the walk. When I was backstage, it was very, very nice because Roger Mosley and Larry Minetti and John Hillerman were backstage with me because we were about to all go out and present an award after mine came up, and so I was with them when I heard, and I was a bit stunned and said something hopelessly inarticulate, and having had it drummed into me that everybody should be brief, I said about 10 seconds worth and ran to the other mark on the stage where I was the host, and that was the end of it. The Golden Globes that year, I got on a plane from Hawaii on a Saturday morning to go to the Saturday evening show, and they had an engine go out on the plane, and we had to turn around and go back to Hawaii, which meant I missed the awards. So I don't know what it's like. I know what it's like to sit in the seat and applaud when somebody else has won. I don't know what it's like to sit in the seat and get up and make that walk.
Well, Tom, hopefully you can experience that maybe later.
Well, I've been lucky. I got my Emmy sitting around in my den. I don't have a lot of pictures of myself and awards out in the living room and everything, but it's nice to reflect when you see that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It must be a real thrill.
Yeah,
but hey, we really do thank you for your time today, and we wish you and the show all the best for a probably likely season 2 and for nominations later this year.
Well, all I can tell you, CBS likes to announce these things. That's certainly their province. I am being invited to the CBS upfronts because I have a plane ticket. So we'll see what I have nothing I can announce though. So it's not my job anyway. But we're looking forward to a second season, and I'm knocked on wood when I said that, so I'm in the clear.